Hey Gemini, welcome to July 2020. So, Black Lives Matter, of course, and I wanted to talk about the Revolutionary Revolution as a channel name. I know for some of you, you were like, I wasn't paying attention to the name of the title of this channel. Fair enough. But for me, it had significance because my awakening process kind of started, I would say, in 2013. It's been a long road, and around that time, I was working at a particularly shitty job where I was like, wow, the, system is so unjust. This world can't go on like this. There needs to be a revolution. And I was thinking then, well, if we're going to do a revolution, we should revolutionize the way we do revolutions because, when we think about power, it's like power shouldn't just be about status, money, or class, or something like that. Status has a lot more to do with, your personal power, the impact you make in the world, and how you can always make a difference as an individual. Yeah. So, and I was also thinking about, if I can heal myself, then maybe that helps to heal the world, because as within, so without. So that's kind of where this channel was born from. And since that's a part of my life is thinking about things kind of on a political level, I thought I'd throw in a little bit more of that flavor into my readings. Because if you're watching these, I assume you like my style, and I resonate with you, so I'll just try to be more me, a little bit more me. Okay. But this is about you, Gemini, right now. And look, a lot is coming up this month that might be a little bit look, I hope this doesn't resonate with you, because it's not I'm not saying this is fun energy, but maybe if it does resonate with you, then maybe we can kind of find the light at the end of the tunnel together. Because I think you're just realizing a change is afoot, right? Things have changed. I mean, the world has changed outside of us. We've probably internally changed. And dude, your season was insane. Literally, the actual revolution started during your season, in my opinion. So, I think as a result of all this, I think you're feeling perhaps a little shell-shocked, a little uncertain, and I think also a little disconnected from your own sense of self, which I think is making you, I think all your abandonment wounds is what I want to say have been triggered. And I think you're really asking yourself, where do I fit in to, the world, into the ecosystem? What is my purpose? Who am I? This feels very existential to me. The Five of Pentacles is, about feeling left out in the cold, but I really don't get the sense that, you are not, this doesn't feel like it's playing out externally. It feels more kind of like you don't know where you stand on anything. And you don't know where is safe. You don't know where, safe haven is for you. Where you belong. This feels like an existential crisis of belonging. And that's just how I feel about it. That's where I'm going with this reading. Let's keep going. Yeah, Six of Swords, it's I think you're feeling where should I even continue to put effort? Or, who are my tired and true friends? Or do I have to let go of someone who I thought was going to be my friend for the rest of my life? Can I accept that? And can I make peace with the fact that my world has changed again? And that also, to bring it back to the abandonment wounds, I'm not saying everyone's abandoning you, but with the Six of Swords, I think it's how can you this month in July, especially during Mercury retrograde, so a lot of this is just internal shifting it's not, I really don't necessarily feel that this is about who's actually outside of you. You know, don't worry about that. Like, don't worry about the external. I think this is more like, can I find, like, the question is, like, can I find a place of acceptance where no matter how other people need to receive me or whatever status my relationship is, I can accept it and, like, move on from anything I need to move on from gently and compassionately. And again, that's not saying that you have all the answers. I think, in fact, you have very little answers. But, like, we got this Two of Swords in reverse, and we got the, like, Seven of Cups in reverse, and I just feel like and we got the Sun in reverse. I feel like part of the deal with Mercury retrograde for you is, like, letting yourself admit that you don't have all the answers, and that there are far more questions right now than there are answers. And being, again, finding peace within all of this uncertainty, and allowing the uncertainty to, it's kind of like, you know, what I'm getting is, like, you're a pool, you're like a lake. Your mind is a lake. And there's sediment in the lake, part of your, like, subconscious mind. And then there's the, whatever, you get how lakes work, right? Okay, sorry. And then someone, like, puts their hand into that and they stirred it around, right? They stirred up all your shit. So all of your shit came out. All of your abandonment wounds, all of your fears of being left behind, all of your fears of, like, having to accept change and, like, continuing the search for where you belong. Like, all of this stuff got stirred up. So you're having an existential crisis a little bit about, like, who am I? Where do I belong? I'm uncertain. What, like, right? And then this is just saying to me, like, well, I mean, if you're feeling unclear and, like, you don't have the answers and you have more questions than anything, it's probably because someone just stirred up all that shit. So just, like, chill out and, like, let that dust settle and let yourself just kind of, like, sift through that process really by just being. Like, there's unclarity, but that's because that's what needed to happen to kind of shake things up. Because maybe for some reason, I don't know if this is like kind of not logical anymore, but, like, maybe stirring all that shit up made it more possible for, like, a lotus flower to grow, for example, right? Like, there was a reason that all this abandonment, existential crisis stuff is happening for you. It's because that needed to happen so that you could kind of get a fresh look. Maybe so some of these fantasies that have been holding you back can fall away for good. Maybe that's what's actually being left behind, you know? Not even so much people, but just, like, ideas about who you thought you could be that you're like, nope, that isn't me, so I'm closing that door. So I think in the end, especially with the Two Swords eventually, or continuing to be in reverse, it's like, yeah, like, I think eventually things are becoming much more clear as a result of this process of, like, all the uncertainty. More clear than they were before someone stirred up all this shit, right? And also, like, maybe new things are able to blossom and grow as a result. So, actually, this is very positive. It just might feel a little, you know, murky, but that's the process. It'll feel murky, but, like, it's supposed to feel murky. There was a reason for all of that. So you could see it and deal it and heal with it. Heal with it. Page of Cups, I mean, here you go. Here's your fresh new start. Here's your new beginning. Here's, like, the opportunity for you to really be more true to you and to be more in balance. And I'll come back to this, actually, because I'm moving over here. We got Three of Pentacles and the Chariot in reverse, and I feel like the message with these is, like, dude, part of, like, what you're doing is, like, reworking your entire conception of, like, your emotional self. So don't try. It's like there's this. I'm talking about like things that make things foggy, right? So it's like if there's a snowstorm outside. So if you're in the southern hemisphere, maybe this is actually happening. I don't know. But like if there's snow or like heavy rain or sleet or something outside, I don't think generally you want to like get on the road on a motorcycle and like go hundreds of miles per hour in the, you know what I mean? Like it's just not the time to travel. And with the Three of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like maybe some people are trying to get you on board for their ideas of who they think maybe you could be, or like what you could be doing with your time. And I think it's like, well, part of the process you're in is really like getting clarity on you and what feels right to you and what changes you can and cannot accept, etc. So I think it's like part of the reason why the universe, like, it's like frustrating when the universe is like, oh, don't rush, and you're like, well, I'm like, literally me doing nothing is like the thing I should do. That doesn't feel right. But it's like, yes, the reason you don't rush is because there's this like bigger internal process and the world is chaotic and the dust needs to settle or the snow needs to stop blizzarding. There are forces of nature that are bigger than you. Or like, I mean, coronavirus, right? Like, yeah, I guess you could go out and like go eat at a restaurant, but at what cost? You know what I mean? It's like, wait until the air is clear. So that's kind of what I feel for you with these two energies, is it's like, accept that this is the process that you're in this month if you can, if this is resonating with you, because then maybe you'll like judge yourself a little bit less and be a little less hard on yourself and make this process a little more gentle and a little more easier on yourself by accepting it fully. And don't be swayed by other people who want to bring you onto their project right now, because it's like, you know, you don't have to do that, I guess, because there's really kind of like, you can't move forward when the roads are snowed in anyway. So that's what I got there. Just like chill, basically. A lot of talk for just chill. And then we got the Page of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. I think, again, this is kind of like your end destination for July. When the dust settles, when everything clears, when the blizzard stops, when that sleet, snow, the roads have been paved, right? When all of that, like, sifting and moving through uncertainty and, like, all of the old feelings has happened, then, you know, you're gonna be on much more solid ground. And you're gonna have more to work with. And like I was talking about in my first metaphor that was weird, like things can start to bloom, like new, right? Anew, more fresh, more true, and also in balance. And I think that with the Six of Pentacles, I particularly get balance between the internal world and the external world. Like Two of Pentacles for me is like in balancing myself, balancing my mind and my heart. But Six of Pentacles is like how much I give to others and how much others give to me, and how much those are in balance and in alignment. Like how I am engaging and connecting with my external world and how balanced that is, and how I hold my boundaries and accept other, you know what I mean? This is like being in right relationship with the world to me. And I think that's where you're headed. So, and especially since we started at that Five of Pentacles, which started this whole like existential crisis for you, right? And then we moved into this Six of Pentacles where it's like the next step. A lot happened to move you from the 5 to the 6, but like, damn, when you get to the 6, it's like everything just feels like really like in harmony. So you're moving towards harmony. It's kind of like, I mean, that's another way I could put this month for you. It's like you're tuning your instrument. You're a little out of tune, so you're just tuning every string in yourself so that so instead of it being discordant whenever you strum yourself, okay, sorry, and then, yeah, and then when you know, kind of are in balance, then it like sounds good, harmony, beautiful, love it. So crazy month, Gemini, but like productive, good, positive. All right. I'll see you again in August. Bye-bye.